Oh my God. Sorry, my OBS did not want to start streaming. It kept telling me I had an error. And, but I didn't, whatever. Anyways, I got it working. So, sorry, I'm late. I'm going to have camera off because I'm going to be getting ready for work while I stream this. I don't have much time, but I wanted to really talk about this. So, I saw an amazing stream last night. First of all, okay, good. I'm streaming. Okay, good. Good. All right. So, anyways, I saw an amazing stream last night. It was a stream by a channel. Where is it? Called PurPleXedQT. I never heard of this channel before, but I have to say I really love the stream. I'm going to play just a part of it. I'm going to share the link to it, and I highly recommend everyone go and check out this stream. But first, though, before I do that, I wanted to read something. So let me get on over here. Hey, Green Worm. Hey, Little Red. So, presenting. Okay, window capture. Okay. So let me widen this a little bit. I'm not sure how big this is going to be, so we'll wait and see. Community. Okay. All right, so let me make sure that y'all can see the whole thing on the screen. And almost. Well, yeah, pretty much. So I'm going to read this real quick as I'm getting ready. So, Nonsense says, all I have to say in regard to your rant I heard you went on this, quote, why is Molly or anyone's personal life your content? Question mark. Laura's video title from yesterday. Bish, you claim to do true crime, which is speaking on personal lives of victims and their tragedies, don't you? And since when does Molly get a pass for her behavior? Considering her content consists of exploiting families' extremely personal matters, and hell, sometimes even creating personal family matters that don't exist for content. What? So she's accusing, no shit. She's saying Molly's, making this shit up with her mother? What the only people, I really seriously side-eye people who make claims like that, because that means that that's something that they would consider doing. If they so quickly, automatically just assume that that's what others are doing. Like, that's, I don't know, that stands out to me as kind of fucked up. Wait a second. Like I said, I'm getting ready for work here. I just have to find my black spongy thing. There it is. Okay. So, I called you a non-factor because that's exactly what you are for me in this arena. You were solely mentioned because you sat spewing ignorant shit on panel with what's with her. That's it. That's all. Okay. You don't offer a single bit of intelligent conversation, nor an open dialogue. Therefore, I'm not interested in entertaining your ignorance. Sorry. It's between you and Molly how you are using her to peddle some weird looking and smelling, according to Molly, candles. I'm only 40, so I prefer scents that are not inviting, not bug repellents. Well, Jesus, you never fucking lived anywhere near mosquitoes, then I take it. Because even at fucking 20, you want that shit. But hey, do your thing. It's just, again, not my interest. I'll buy Raid to keep the bugs away. Well, then, if I were you, I would seriously sue fucking Raid, because, you got infestations, all around you. It's noticeable. I get the reasoning behind your selective ignorance. I've been a single mom, too. How does that have to do anything? And been through the struggles. No, you haven't. I mean, I seriously question that, because you don't give anyone any kind of grace for having or going through or having been through the struggles. So I kind of question what kind of struggles you've been through in that regard. But whatever. So I respect the hustle. No, you don't. However, the hustle doesn't have to include co-signing of exploiting victims and their tragedies for money. That's where we differ is I can respect the hustle, but I don't respect a grift. What do you think? Oh my God, most hustles are grifts in a sense. Jesus. You can get your grift on all you want, but at least call it as it is. A grift. Do you even know the definition of a grift? You've sought out an angle on the Circle of Insanity for months and finally got picked for Molly Golightly's dodgeball team as a replacement for the C Squad because they've all been sidelined due to injuries. Bitch, dodgeball is awesome. Why are you knocking that sport? Like, that is one of the only few fucking sports I really enjoyed playing as an adult. I mean, it's like knocking roller derby. Mostly just feelings hurt because they have no spines. Oh, they have no spines. Grab that ball and run crazy all you want, slinging it all over. How about at your head? Figuratively speaking, that is. Don't anyone take that as any kind of threat. Sadly, it's just going to bounce right back at you and knock you on your ass. Not if you're throwing it. You can't change a narrative on a story that was told by Molly's own words. They will always bounce back to haunt her. And now, since you are playing Captain Save-A-Ho, you're not even using that saying correctly. Laura, you weren't picked for the A or B squad. Why is these fucking comparisons or metaphors, they're all like high school metaphors. What is up with that? She's ran through so many players doing her dirty deeds over the last 8 months that seeing you begging to still be picked for dodgeball is entertaining, to say the least. We don't even know whose ball you are chasing around at this point, but more power to you. Chase that ball. Do you. Maybe you win a participation trophy from old Moose Knuckle Magoo after all. Oh, look at that. Resorting to name calling. Oh, nice. Photos are of her recent stream title, and one comment that she loved under her video. This told me all I needed to know. Ignorance is pure bliss for some. The insane comparisons they find are mind-blowing to me. To even compare these situations is... Okay. So, screenshot. Mentally stunted much. Why is Molly or anyone's personal life your content? And... watching this hate campaign against Molly reminds me of how the Nazis went after Jews. All right, that's a bit of an extreme comparison. I'll give him that. All right. So, this here is the stream, but real quick, let me check out chat quick. Because I'm going to let it play for a few minutes while I start getting ready. Hey, Megan. Hi, Lily. Hey, Mama of 3. Hey, Dash X. Hey, Greenworm79. Hey, Heather. Hey, Peaches. Hey, Cheap Glass. All right. Okay, so here we go. Wait, let me make sure I get MIDI on. No, I don't. Good thing I checked. All right, now it's on. I'm going to just get right up to the point where Nanya comes on. Oh, yeah, that's right. Nanya comes on. I forgot about that. That's the part I want to play. Because Nanya gets her ass handed to her. Like, not in a mean way. Just in a, she ran out of shit to say kind of way. So, yeah.
That's why I don't follow. I mean, Dre's a perfect example. This is why I don't follow.
Let me know you guys can hear it okay.
Like actually, Hollywood and stuff. These people don't give a fuck.
I can check that myself. I think I can. There we go. Okay, yeah, you can. I just started coming through.
That's why I don't follow.
All right, all good.
About me, so I don't give a fuck about them. That's how I feel about Dre. Dre don't give a fuck what happens to me, so I don't give a fuck about Dre.
That's true. So I don't know who this is, whose channel this is. Like, I know the name of the channel.
DMs with him while he was with me. I have all of it.
But I don't know her name. I don't know anything about her. But what I can deduce from watching the stream is she has the gift of common sense, rationale, fucking just plain simple logic. So,
whose DMs?
Okay, come on.
Hey, Nanya.
Okay.
Hey, Laura. It's nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
So, I just have some questions.
Sure.
And I think that, like, I can understand where Laura A is coming from right now. I don't think she's saying karma for the mom being sick. I think she's saying when other people...
Okay. And just real quick here, they're talking about all the hate that Molly's been getting, if it's been deserved or, what's up with that. you know, if this is like fucking logical fucking behavior, you know, or whatever, and especially concerning Molly's mom and how she's sick and everything. So this is Nunya up on screen on panel, along with the channel owner. The channel name is PurPleXedQT, and Laura, or Lori, I guess is her name.
Have gone through tragic situations where empathy is absolutely, or compassion is absolutely needed. Molly hasn't always been the person who has shown that for other people.
Who are we talking about, though? If we're talking about Dre, I don't want to hear it. If we're talking about...
I think there's a lot of people. I mean, we can talk about just recently the Quentin Simon situation with how she did the grandmother.
Okay, but let's not talk about an actual public case, because you can't compare public cases that other people talk about too, not just Marissa, to like personal. If you want to give me a personal example, that's different.
Well, really, I mean, if we're being completely honest, normally personal issues don't hit the internet, right? They've hit the internet because somebody has made it public.
See, I thought that this was a really good point, because let's think about it. Out of all the times we've grown up or whatever, we've watched news programs, we watched news stories get broken, you know, the anchorman or whatever, the talk show host doing, you know, bringing things to light or whatever, working on these big projects or whatever and reporting it. How many times, it hasn't been at all like a thought, let alone a rational thought, to get mad about it and just attack the shit out of the news anchor? I mean, sure, yeah, if the news anchor made news or something and doing something extremely, you know, shady or something, that's one thing. But just because they reported shit that you didn't agree with, are you then going to go and attack their parenting and shit like that? I mean, that shit's never happened. And yeah, YouTubers are not reporters. They're not journalists. I get that. But really, half the anchormen aren't either. But, okay, I digress. But no, seriously, though. If you're even talk show hosts, like, nobody goes after them because they talked about a subject that people find upsetting. So why is this okay? Like, it's crazy.
Okay.
Does that make sense? So, like, I understand what you're saying is, like, when it's on national news, right? And all the channels are talking about it, like, I get that. Like, that makes perfect sense to me. But in this case, we are only talking about it, right? Because somebody didn't leave it private. They've made it a public, you know, thing to be talked about, to be judged, to be whatever, scrutinized.
Okay.
Does that make sense, what I'm saying?
Yes, but you can't use a public case against her and say that it's the same, because it's not at all.
Well, I think that really, where in my opinion, where you can use that is because, like, your actions, right? So let's just say, that you go through something traumatic in your life, right?
Okay.
And you came here and you shared that with your audience, right? That your subs and your supporters, right? And you share that with them to share, like, what that trauma looks like, right? And somebody who doesn't like you criticizes how you're handling that situation, right? The second that you hit that live button, even if it's not national news, you've given them that, I don't know, permission,
that's such a false representation, because no one's just criticizing how Molly's handling the news. People are flat out calling her a fucking liar and saying that she's using it for content to make money. That's not criticizing how she's handling the news. That's denying her trauma altogether.
Judge or criticize what you've chosen to say, do, react, anything like that, right?
No.
Okay, so tell me how it's different.
I'll give you the words of Randy from It's Randy's Life. I think that's where I've seen you, right?
Probably. I go in there quite often.
Randy was talking about her, I think it was her mom one day. And this was years ago. She had a very deep conversation about her mom, or deep thoughts about her mom. I don't remember exactly. And someone tried to take it, maybe truthfully Trisha, I don't know. Somebody tried to take it and talk about it. And she freaked out. And she was like, if I'm talking about my mom on my panel, then that's where it needs to stay. And every single person agreed with her that if you are talking about something personal on your channel, in your audience, then that's where it needs to stay.
And I could understand that, right? I think where the difference lies, for me in my mind at least, is it's like this. So you're talking about a person who took their personal situation, put it out there, discussed any part of it, right? And then that's not their norm, right? I don't know. It's hard for me to want to give grace and show compassion for somebody who does not show much empathy, compassion, or sympathy for others.
But when you talk, all right, so how
and I only have, like I said, like the difference is like I don't know any of you guys in like, you know, in real life and outside of the internet, right? And so all I have to judge by that is what I see on the internet from this person's actions.
But are you really seeing her actions throughout, or are you just basing this on clip channels? And
no, I've only been here for 6 months.
Why does it matter?
So
like why does someone? Why are you assigning purity tests to whether or not someone is going to receive any kind of compassion or should receive any kind of compassion? No, sure, you can use this as a personal litmus or whatever, and decide, you know what, I'm not going to give this person that much of my own personal grace. You know, but that's fine. I get that. Whatever. You know, even if I disagree with it, whatever. But that's not what these people are doing. Like, her nonsense, they're going out of their way to prevent other people from extending, like, just basic compassion to Molly. They're trying to run Molly off the fucking platform. This isn't just them withholding their own personal grace.
I'll be honest and say I've only been on YouTube for 6 months. Okay. And I've done some research on a lot of different creators. I go in, I don't just believe what people tell me. I want to go and watch for myself to, you know, make my own opinion, not just based off what somebody else says.
Okay.
So absolutely, like I promise you, I have watched and watched, but I've also watched there be a very huge lack of empathy in numerous situations. Even
you cannot. I'm sorry. Okay, you may have a right to do this, but you sound like an idiot. You cannot use a lack of empathy to excuse your own lack of empathy, as though it's justified. I mean,
and even if you go to the basics of like the lady Robin who was working for her, right? Was Robin too much? Did Robin cry wolf afterwards? Yes, in my opinion, she did okay, fine. But to me, in that particular circumstance, that's where, like, there was no empathy shown for the situation that Robin was in at that point in time.
But do you know, hold up. Do you know how that all started? That Marissa was sending her meals nonstop last year or 2 years ago, was sending her meals, and she was pissed at Marissa because she didn't send her alcohol. Like, there's
no, that's not the same person.
So Robin sounds like Nadia didn't know anything about that shit.
So Robin, okay, so that may have been their first fight. I don't know about that, but they're more recent one. For me, what I'm saying is we're talking about her personal connections with other people, right? And so I'm trying to base an opinion of her off of what I see those personal connections with, of the empathy and compassion that she shows other people who are going through rough times. And that's where the disconnect is for me, because I mean, can you give me an example then of a time where you have seen her show empathy and compassion for somebody who was going through something terrible that was personal?
Off the top of my head, yeah. Let me see. Hey, Busted. I'm trying to think. I mean, I've seen her show compassion for, what's her name? Justin. I've seen her show compassion for a lot of things. I have. Do you want an exact example? Off the top, Cork, help me out. But she has shown empathy for a lot of different things. Doug with
I think that's where I have yet to see, you know, even I hear her talk all the time about all these families that she's helped. I have yet to see a family come forward that says, man, I'm so grateful for the work that she's done. I see it for a lot of like other like true crime channels and things like that. So I get that it does happen, But I think that's where the disconnect and it is very easy just as human beings to focus on the negative. So I'll definitely recognize that. I absolutely pray for her mother's comfort and pray for her family's comfort for sure, because her behaviors shouldn't be.
But that doesn't make sense
for
to
me. They don't dictate.
Why would you pray for her family's comfort, or pray for comfort throughout this grieving process and everything? Why would you pray for it, but then have your actions show otherwise? Have your actions like threaten that comfortability that you're praying for? That just, it seems you're working against yourself.
Take anything for her family.
All right, hold on. Someone in chat reminded me, and I'm bad at like thinking off the top of my head. My son, my older one, 2 years ago, had a horrendous accident. Ankle was upside down, literally horrible. Marissa, without question, we were tight then, but Marissa, without question, do you need anything? Do you want anything? What does he eat? I'm going to send all you guys dinner. Oh my God, I can't believe it. Jake, look at his
what'd I do? Oops, sorry.
foot. She had a lot of empathy. She didn't have to do any of that. She didn't have to send him anything. She was, whatever you need, Laura, just let me know. We're in the hospital for like 3 days. She was wonderful. So yeah, she does exert empathy when you're friends with her and when she cares. She just does. But you're seeing all the bad stuff. You're seeing all the
yeah,
the negative.
I think that would be but hear me out though. So what you're saying though is, if you're friends with her, you're afforded that compassion and empathy.
But that's anybody.
Yeah, I couldn't believe that when she said that. Like, that's anyone. Like, you're not going to go out of your way special for friends than you would strangers, or than you would people that you don't really care for. I mean, or than you would for people who don't go out of their way for, you know what I mean? You can be, it's okay to be choosy with how far you go out of your way for people, dependent on how close you are to them, or how likely they are to be as considerate to you. I mean, I'm talking just about going out of your way and doing these great things for her, though, okay? I'm not talking about just, like, not being a dick.
But, like, if I'm not friends with her, that means that I'm not going to see that or experience that.
Well, no, maybe not.
Right?
But that's anybody.
You may not if you're not in
Show me
chat.
a creator out there that's going to give a shit if, that's not going to exert empathy because they're not friends with her. Every single.
I would like to think. Let's just say, and Laura, like I said, I'm newer too, so that makes a big difference, right? I'll recognize that. But here's my question: if I came into your chat today, my very first time coming into your chat, right, and I'm like, man, I lost my mom last week. This is really rough for me. I can't imagine, just on a human level, that you're not going to be like, man, I'm really sorry to hear that, Nunya. I'll whatever, light a candle for you, say a prayer, whatever your thing is. I'm going to do that for you this week, and and keep you, hang out as long as you need to with us tonight. That to me is like, that's just general compassion that people on a human level should have.
All right, I'll give you another example. Thank you, Kimberly. I'll give you another example. When the drama community...
I'm sorry, this seems like kind of a lot to go for a stranger, even as a content creator. I mean, yeah, sure, you say your condolences and say, we're here for you, whatever. But, like, I don't know, she seems to be putting an awfully high standard there, I think. But bottom line is, there's no need to be a dick.
Community got robbed by a St. Jude scammer, took thousands of dollars from St. Jude. You know what Marissa did? Because Marissa had the power that most of us don't to raise tens of thousands of dollars through her channel. I never raised that kind of money. None of us did. But Marissa has the power to entertain and sing. She raised $30,000 in 24 hours for St. Jude. Wow. None of us, and I mean none of us, could have done that.
I actually have that. I have the live that she did that celebrating, and it was a really healing moment because
she got nothing out of it.
Our community
so to me,
destroyed.
I could give you credit for the star power, the bringing in the views. I could give you credit there. Can you help me connect? And I genuinely am asking to understand, but can you help me connect how that ends up tying into her having the ability to empathize with what other people are going through?
She did it because she was empathizing.
The whole community broke up.
How do you not see that? I mean, what? She didn't do that strictly as a PR fucking stunt. You know, that's still it. She got nothing out of it. She did it because she was empathetic to what happened. How do you need to tie in empathy to that? I mean, what? Okay.
The whole community was burned. The whole community was torn apart. Everybody was fighting with each other.
Yeah.
Everybody,
That's
you know,
the end of the drama community.
To bring everybody closer together again, because all the money that was taken, and it wasn't even that much, but you know, she raised everything that was lost and then some. And that's awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you, Greg. And that's awesome. None of us have done that.
Our community, Nanya, to put it in context, our community was completely destroyed.
Yeah, I've heard.
Yeah, and Molly did that.
I can't. If this other person speaks a little low, I got to turn it up a little bit more for me. Okay. There we go.
Just for the community as a healing, and there were all sides, I guess, if you will, coming in and sharing and just saying thank you. For hours she did it and gave it all to St. Jude, you know. So I mean, I get being new and kind of seeing more of the hate and not so much of the empathy, and not being around for the so-called good times that we had together, you know. But know that it was there. Molly has a following for a reason, you know. She does have empathy, you know. And
I don't I mean, like I said, I do recognize that I'm newer to this, so I completely get it. I think for me, like, I don't understand, like, talking about like you know, Laura, you mentioned, like, okay, well, personal is different than a public interest story, right?
Yeah.
Which I understand that, right? But to me, I guess for me, it's just like, it's on a human level, right? I always, no matter what I'm talking about, I'm going to try and correlate in my own brain, what would I do if I was in that person's, you know, situation right now? And I can still have my opinions on them,
Absolutely.
but like, even in the public interest story, there has not been an empathy or a compassion shown for.
But what about take the opposite. What about all the people that talk about her every single day?
Mm-hmm.
Where's their empathy for her son? Where's their empathy? It's like you're saying one thing, but you're doing the exact same thing. You're saying everything that you don't like about her, or that you want to understand, is the exact same thing you guys are all doing. And when I say you guys, I just mean, you know, you're talking about empathy, but you don't have it. Like, where's the empathy from the haters? Where's, you know, why is it Molly that people are looking for empathy from? Where's
I think that I can agree with you on, because I do think that, like, you have, if you're saying this person doesn't show empathy and that's bad, right? Then you have to be the better person. But I think you can coexist in a world that says that person doesn't show empathy and I don't like their actions, but I have empathy for what they've gone through.
Agreed.
Or are going through.
Okay, well, answer me this then.
I think you can coexist with both of those opinions at the same time.
How is it that you were having empathy and showing empathy for what someone's going through when you sit there and you come up with all these reasons or excuses or whatever on why you think that they're full of shit about what they're going through? You know, I mean, that doesn't sound like it's very empathetic to me. Sorry. What am I doing? Okay.
Time for me.
Yes, you can, Nanya. No matter what everybody tells you, you can't. You can. Trust me.
Who is this on panel? I'm sorry, I don't.
Whistle that.
Yeah.
Oh, it's nice to meet you. I've heard
And
your
I
name
wanna
before. It's
just-
nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. I want to interject you. I was on the panel with Robin that day, and for 8 hours, okay, she was crying histrionically. She wouldn't get off to talk privately. She wanted all of that public, and she didn't stop there after 8 hours of literally e-begging for beers, okay, having them DoorDash to her house, begging, and Molly paid for them. But as she was on the panel for 8 hours, histrionically, not wanting to go private and talk about things, e-begging for beers, She continued to go on another panel and tell the world, right, that I kill my husband. I kill husbands. Literally, I kill my husbands. I have only been married once, okay? I'm still married. That I take knives in the middle of the night and I that's what I'm known for. So please don't always listen to what other people say.
That's what you know for you.
Do your
own
good
at
research, okay?
Yeah, no, my point was not the original fallout. I was talking more so about the recent fallout, the last time that they fell out. I think it was like at the
This
end
was
of
the
last
last
year.
time. Yep. This was
The
the last
end, but maybe we're talking about different Robins then.
No, we're not. No, we're not. We're
So
talking
this
about
lady was the assistant, and Molly had ended up
Yep,
firing
we're
her
talking
because
about
she was
this.
telling
Yes,
the
we are.
Patreons not to.
Yes,
That's
we
the
are.
Robin.
Yep,
Yep.
yes, we are.
That's
And she
Robin.
just did this, Nanya. She just talked about me being a murderer, okay, 2 months
See,
ago.
Nanya herself says that she's only been around for 6 months, so she's kind of like still new to learning about all the people here and all just the way things work or whatever. And it sounds like she's had some real good realizations, or at least some hard facts that she couldn't dispute, thrown at her throughout the stream. I wonder if maybe at some point soon, Nanya might start to think, it seems that the person who told me all of this shit about these people might not have been very honest with me. I wonder why that is. I'm interested to see if Nanya, the person who self-proclaims to be very fair and unbiased, will eventually come to that, conclusion. Inevitable conclusion.
On Alicia's panel. So yes, we are talking about the same one. Don't always believe it. Some of these people on here are absolutely horrible.
Yeah, and trust and believe. I have seen some of the worst thus far, and like you said, I'm more than willing. Like, if I did not know that, and I have no problem with saying, like, okay, well, I didn't know that. That's fine. I was using her more so as the example that Laura had asked for, like, in your personal life versus the public interest story.
Not a good example.
And I'm using her as an example as to just do your own research, because I don't want to see another. I don't want to see another member just fall into that sheep crowd, right? Because I'm going to tell you, been around long enough. I'm going to tell you, you end up falling into a sheep crowd. That sheep that you're following, that person, they'll do something really fucked up, and you'll be sitting there holding your ass.
Yep.
Yeah, for me, I'm not a sheep. I
Good.
absolutely, I don't mind having a conversation with anybody. I'm not a person who needs everybody to agree with me or that I agree with them.
Yeah.
That's just not who I am. I'm absolutely somebody down to have tough conversations or, be the only person in a crowd.
See, I would believe that more, except throughout this conversation, she's had her questions answered. She's had things pointed out to her, that clearly depict how, and you're going to see this as it goes on, clearly depict how and why she's wrong about things. And rather than take a second and think, I never looked at it that way before, or, oh, that's a good point, or anything. No, you can almost see like the wheels turning in her brain, working to find ways around this in which to attack this blaringly loud truth placed right in front of her face. So I don't know.
Crowd where I'm the only one who thinks differently. Like, I'm totally fine with that. It's just, for me, the behaviors that I've seen and the lack of compassion and empathy that she has yet to show towards families who are going through devastating tragedy. That's really hard. And this particular situation, I think that there should be a grace and compassion shown for sure, because losing a mother is a traumatic thing, right? And it alters who you are as a woman. So I understand that part of it. At the same time, I don't agree with making it clickbaitish. I don't agree with posting, she's gone when she's not gone, but I just meant something else, but I didn't mean that. Like, that is all. Like, it feels a lot like emotion.
It's her mother, it's her channel, it's her grief. She can word it any fucking way she wants. Who the fuck are you to play semantics over this? I mean, that's just, again, that's having this blatant thing put right in front of you that kind of proves you wrong, but you're circling around trying to find ways to, like, undermine it and attack it.
Manipulation to me that she's doing to her subs, and that makes me very sad for them. But that's just my opinion.
You
know, it doesn't mean everybody has to agree with that.
I get it too. Like, I get those same feelings. I'm not, ignorant to that. On the same hand, I try to put myself in their shoes, right? So, am I in the hospital right now freaking out? I don't know what's going on because the doctors aren't telling me anything.
Mm-hmm.
I honestly don't. I need to reach out to somebody, my followers, the people that have my back, and let them know I don't know what's going on. I'm freaking out. And I write that and I post it. Could it be that circumstance? Can we give some kind of benefit of the doubt through somebody that's going through this? Or is it just hate and creating your own karma? When you're hating on somebody like this.
Well, yeah. I mean, wouldn't that be kind of like the same thing Laura just told Laura A? Is like your actions aren't what actually causes, bad karma then.
See, maybe Laura and I have a different opinion on karma. My opinion is if you're going to believe in karma, then you should be asking yourself right now in this situation, what is your karma?
Yeah, exactly. You can't sit here and push karma like, oh, well, that's karma. Oh, well, that's karma. Oh, well, that's karma. While you're doing the very same fucking things that should be bringing that bad karma back upon yourself. If you're going to judge everyone else's karma and depict what everyone else's karma is and should be, then you need to turn that around in on yourself and think, what's my karma? That's what you need to do. But in all honesty, my real opinion on that is there's no such thing as karma. So.
What is my karma, Jen, for being up on this panel right now? In every action. My karma isn't worrying about everybody else's karma. It's not going to do me any good.
Agreed. And I'm no gatekeeper of karma. That's not my job, and I don't actually. I'm not interested.
I can tell you that if you are looking for Molly as being empathetic, I do have a video, and it's on my page, and I don't ever promote my channel, but she is fundraising where the majority of the people that you see right now bashing her are in there saying thank you.
So, and that, I think that's for me, and maybe that's where the definition is different. I don't know. But to me, when I think compassion and when I think empathy, I don't necessarily connect it with money, so to speak. I think of it in actions, in words, right? The fact I will, I'll give credit where credit is due. Is she, can she put on a good show? Absolutely, she can. And so the fact that she can do amazing, things to raise money and to get money from other people, to put on a show enough to get money from other people, to donate to St. Jude and to those things, that doesn't surprise me. And that's awesome, right? Those are excellent charities.
Can I interrupt you for 1 second?
Want?
I have a serious question, and I want you to think about it before you answer. Why is Molly held, and I know that I'm held to a higher standard too, but I'm using Molly's example because you're talking about her. Why is Molly held to a much higher standard than 90% of the men on YouTube? How come nobody's in Popcorn Planets wondering why they're not more sympathetic to others? Why they don't have empathy for others? Why is no...
This was probably the most profound point throughout this entire stream. Why is it that no other content creators are being held to the standard? Especially, why is it that no male content creators are being held to any kind of standards such as this? Why is it just Molly? Why is it not only just the female content creators, but it's one of the most loudest female content creators? Like, the most fearless. I mean, you can say what you want about Molly, but she's fearless. She will come out and say she's bold. Why is it that she is being held to these impossible standards while all these other content creators are like trying to hold her up to these standards, are doing the same exact shit that they're having issue with? Why aren't they up on these standards as well? Little Red, I don't know if you're still in here. I just got your Instagram message. Yeah, I seen that tweet already. I commented on it, I think yesterday or the day before. But is there more that I need to see? I'll pull it up anyways. All right.
Nobody in Tyler. Why is nobody in Joe Rogan? How come nobody is asking them to have more empathy? Why is it only Marissa that people feel they have a right to say that she has more empathy? How come nobody's in Gray Hughes saying, how come you don't have more fucking empathy? And if Gray was discussing stuff, you know, there's not a creator out there that hasn't discussed stuff, or Drunk Turkey, or tons of them. How come nobody's in there asking, how come they don't have more empathy, or show me more empathy for people, or show me, like, certain women in this on YouTube are held to this much higher standard than everybody else, that people think they have the right to ask answers from. Like, if Molly doesn't need to show, and I don't need to show, we don't need to show where we're empathetic for people.
Right.
If you don't think people are empathetic, don't watch them.
My short answer to that would be, where's yours? When somebody asks, where's the empathy? My answer would,
who are you to be out here judging other people on their empathy or lack thereof, or levels of empathy, and then holding them to task for it, and being so unforgiving about it yourself, and being so uncompassionate and lacking understanding for them yourself? Like, be the change you wish to see in the world, right?
Would be, where's yours in this moment?
Right.
Philly girl, who gives a fuck? You are part of the problem. I don't need to get in with Molly at all. But how do you know where she is? Why are you following her every motherfucking move?
So can I ask this? So I don't watch the people that you just mentioned, so I agree with that. I also have no problem with, asking myself, where is my empathy when I speak on other people? So I don't have an issue.
Real quick, just in case you are still in here, Little Red. Yeah, the tweet you sent me there, Menace to Sobriety, saying, so if this is how Slayer Utica feels about people talking about other people's family members, I have some questions, mainly pertaining to her hypocrisy revolving around KJ and her kid. Why do you keep wanting to bring kids into this? Like, stop fucking talking about kids, you fucking weirdo. Nobody's talking about her kid. Why are you dragging her fucking kid into whatever dispute you're trying to cook up with me now? Like, what the fuck is your problem, you fucking weirdo?
With that at all. But my thing is this. I truly think that what it boils down to is, because it's the internet and because it was put out there publicly, that's the reason why it has been opened up to commentary.
That wasn't to you, Little Red. I wasn't talking to you. I was talking to Menace to Sobriety. I just realized how that might have sounded. That wasn't directed to you.
Critique, judgment, people talking shit, like whatever you want to call it. Like, that's the reason why. If you don't want people to talk about it, then you don't do it. Like, don't put it out there then. And she has every right to put it out there, right? She has 100%. Your channel is your channel. You do what you do. Other creators, it's their channel. They do what they do. But you have to know that you're opening yourself up to those critiques. And that.
So, Dirty Uncle Sal says, the person who's speaking, she's aware that Marissa is nowhere near as big as people like Joe Rogan, right? I would think so. I hope so. I mean, but I think maybe she was just pulling like commentary names right off the top of her head. But yeah, I hope not. I hope she doesn't think that. Or I hope she realizes that they're not as big. Whatever. Okay.
That's not gonna stop.
But that exactly the whole point of this live. That's not Marissa's problem. That's the people who always have to have an opinion. That's their problem. That's not Marissa's problem. If you're not adult enough that you have to go live and you have to talk about somebody else's issues, that's a problem. That means that you're the fucking problem, not Marissa.
I mean, honestly, Laura, isn't that what every channel does, though?
No, every
and I mean, I'm like I said, I'm newer. This is 6 months in, so maybe there's other channels out there for me. So that's highly possible. But every channel that I've ever seen, it's people talking about other people who talked about people.
You're not wrong.
The drama community, yes, to a point. I can't argue that. I totally agree with you. on that. But if there was an old drama rule, I guess you can say, if I talk about something on my channel, that's mine to, something personal, that's mine to talk about. That's not your problem to talk about. Though if you don't like the way I act towards my child, well, guess what? It's not your fucking child. If you don't like that I kicked my dog, well, it's not your dog. A bad example, but you know what I mean. Like,
yeah, I think anything, I mean, again, I just think it's a big part of it.
I'm going to keep this playing. I'm going to just go grab a couple of things to start getting ready for work with, and I'll be right back. I'm just going to turn the camera off for a second so you guys don't see me change my pants.
It's you're making it public and it's on the internet.
But just
so it'd be very like it's very gatekeepy to say just because I talk about it means nobody can talk about it.
No, just because you can doesn't mean you should. Just because I can talk about something doesn't mean I should talk about it. Just because someone puts something out there and I can speak of it doesn't mean I should. That's what I'm saying. And that's all that I'm trying to say. Okay. Is you're an adult. And even if I put something out there that you don't agree with, does that mean you have to go live after live after live after live talking about it? No. State your opinion and move on. There's a lot of shit that I see that I could easily go on for days and talk about. Do I know why? Why should I? Just because I can doesn't mean I should.
And I think you guys have talked about it a little bit earlier. I think when the whole, DC kind of went down kind of a thing, I think that a lot of those rules have died.
I just want to say my head about exploded when I heard her say that, because I'm like, oh my God, I say that all the time. Just because you have a right to do something doesn't make it the right thing to do. So yeah, I just want to point that out.
In that old era. And so a lot of us newer people who are coming in, we hear you say that these are these kind of unspoken rules, right? That everybody has followed for years, which I can respect that. But at the end of the day, I think that like kind of things change. And so people are open to having opinions and they're open to speaking on whatever, if you talk about, I know you have a candle business. If you talk about your candle business today, right? And I don't like something that you said about your candle businesses, right? Or business. And then I go fire up a live and I talk about your candle business, right? You're going to be like, well, that's really stupid, right? But for me, that may be content. That may be something I want to talk about.
Exactly. That's the problem.
That, but I'm just saying.
That's the problem. Oh, many people.
See, here's where my take is on this. The drama community. I mean, we're commentary channels basically, and we're commentating on the drama of YouTube or influencers or drama public figures, if you will. So like what we do on our channels regarding that, I think is absolutely open for content to be talked about, to be featured on other channels as content rather. But if we're using our channel in a personal moment, like she's pointing out here, like talking about your kid or talking about whatever, or Molly talking about, losing her mother and everything, like that's not drama content. I agree with that. But like if I'm up here and I'm talking about, oh, this went on with Katie Joy and Sherelle or whatever, and my take on it, my opinion on it, or my behavior and the manner of which I'm talking about it, that is all open for content, I think. But if I then just, end that discussion and then go into talking about some personal trauma I experienced offline, off of the drama community, off of YouTube, and I'm just opening up about it as whatever is a part of my healing process or just for advice or whatever, then yeah, that should not be used as karma, or that should not be used as content, because that's not your drama. That's not YouTube's drama. That's not the drama community's drama. You know what I mean?
People do though. But that's the problem. That's the problem. That's exactly what I'm trying to say. Is if you don't like something about my candle business, why are you firing up a fucking live about it? Why is my business your content? That is you just nailed my entire point.
And I think where my answer to that question or to that statement is because you're putting that information on the internet, and so you're opening it up. You open up the door. I know you feel like nobody should be able to walk in the door, but you're opening up the door for somebody to walk in, and it's almost as if we're surprised that somebody walked into a wide open door.
Okay, so Christine Randall, I'm going to use her as an example. Christine Randall, I believe, has millions of followers. She puts her child on the internet. Do you see people making videos about her child? Nope, you sure don't. Do you see anybody talking about her child? Nope, you sure don't. Why? Because just because she puts her child out there doesn't mean you have to talk about it. It's the same thing.
Talk about other people's parenting or children? I've never watched her before, so I'm not sure.
No, I don't think so. There's a lot of people that don't.
That's my thing, though. Like, so you get it's kind of like you get what you put out there, right? So when let's say I watch you, right? And every time you're on, you're talking to somebody in your chat, and you're like, you're a terrible mother. You're,
don't do that. That's what you don't know backstories. I've seen Marissa.
No. I'm not saying she does that. I was just using it as an example. I'm not saying she does that. But I'm saying if all you did was this like bashing of that person in your chat's parenting, right? If that's all I seen you do, right? You're saying it wouldn't be like if I chose to fire up a live and then talk about your parenting, I'm completely wrong, but like you've set that as the okay thing for your content. Does that make sense?
No.
Okay, so on that note, I'm going to wrap this up because I have to leave. I have to be out my door in like 4 minutes. So I want to continue this, though, later. There's only about, what time is it on here? 2:11. She's only on the panel for like another 20 minutes. And this is the only part of the stream I'm going to play is the part where Nani is on. But I got to say, I urge you to listen to the whole stream, especially the beginning. Because, I mean, okay, maybe I'm getting a little personal satisfaction about the fact that someone is finally speaking some fucking sense to nonsense here and shutting her down and her ridiculous logic. Sure, maybe I am enjoying that a bit, but I mean, I don't hate nonsense. I don't want any hate thrown at nonsense or whatever. For whatever reason, nonsense just bought into a bunch of bullshit. Maybe it was very convincing bullshit. Who's to say I wouldn't myself buy into that same bullshit in her place? I don't know. So I'm not judging her for that. Though I am taking a little bit of satisfaction from this, I admit. But really, listening to the beginning of the stream with just perplexed on, it's profound. It really is. I found it profound anyway. So I highly suggest y'all watch it. Check it out. I'm going to share the link one last time here in the chat, and then I will pick up on this one later on. I don't know what time I'll be home, but so. Where is it? Finally, there we go. That's fine. Yep, okay. So here is the link one more time. So and I will add that to the description momentarily. So, but bye guys. Thank you for being here, and I will see you guys later. Consider this like a teaser. So, all right.